You press it? Oh yeah, so we back, man. So, again, we just touching on these topics of just telling and being civilians and things of that nature. So, Robert, you got any similar situations?
Well, I just seen a situation with a cat that come up my old neighborhood. It was all over the internet. He see our number one, and he did this, he did that, and then turn around. They have a concert. This same dude is allowed to come to the concert and go live and say live in the Nickerson Gore that he done told on multiple people.
Right.
And nothing happened. There was no repercussions for his actions.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And me personally, this is why I'm cool. Not the streets, but I'm cool on the formulation of the ideology that we came up under, because it's not real. It's not real. You know what I'm saying? And I refuse to be subjected to something that's not real, because I call myself a real Negro.
Right.
So how can I be dealing with fake people? That don't even make sense.
Right. And then even dealing with that, right, a lot of times because we didn't came so far from that thought process,
Right.
and certain people are just using either a clickbait or they actually going through it.
Right.
So I feel for the ones that's actually going through it, because they're on the flip side of being told on, and a whole world of what they believe in is shattered, because you said nobody wants to be told on.
Right.
But the people that's using it for clickbait, that's kind of making fun of both situations. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like what's going on. And then as we personally grew how it is now, this solidifies my progress of moving forward and getting away from that. To say what you're saying.
Right.
Because now when I look at that and I say, well, this dude got told on, so now I'm saying to myself, me now, I never will be caught with somebody doing something illegal.
Right.
My thought process is, hold on. If we got to do something bad, we don't need to be together.
Right.
Because I'm trying to sustain a relationship. My relationship is not going to be determined if I get caught by the police and I don't tell them.
Wondering if you're going to tell them.
My relationship depends on what jobs are we doing, what kid functions are we going to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What kind of positive entrepreneur things are we doing?
Right.
What kind of nonprofits are we open together? I was talking to some of the homies this weekend, and I wanted to congratulate them. The homie got a nonprofit organization, Find Your Purpose. They was on Slauson and 6th Ave. They was giving out toys. They did a toy drive.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
At 2:30 on Slauson and 6th Ave. They had face paint out there. They had jumpers out there.
Right.
They was giving back to the community.
Right.
Then you go up, a few feet away, you had Black Sam on Crenshaw and Slauson. He was doing the same thing.
Right.
And then you had a group of other people that were still on the block doing the same thing. So I'd rather choose myself to deal with the people that's doing righteous.
Right.
That's putting healing in the community.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And making them feel better about where they can see themselves in life later on, even after they made mistakes, or even hopefully they never make no mistakes, to the point where they got to separate from their family and their loved ones.
Right.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
That's the crucial and hardest part of the game that people don't tell you about, that when you get taken away from the family.
Right.
The loss of family. You know what I'm saying? That you put so much into the neighborhood, but the neighborhood gives you nothing back in return.
Right.
And so you feel cheated. You know what I'm saying? That's like going on a date with a woman, winding a diner, and you don't get nothing. You think you foot the bill, pay the rent, you doing this, but you doing this for a reason.
Right.
But the same thing we do, we put in work for the hood to get a reputation.
Right.
We put in work to get respect from our peers.
Right.
And once if our peers broke those rules, we're supposed to take care of our peers because they're part of our tribe.
Right.
And that's how that goes.
And it makes sense. And it really don't go that way.
But it don't go that way. But that was right.
That's just keeping it real. It really doesn't go that way. I think that's when we were kids, when we were 13, 14, that's what we thought. We had this movie perspective about what it should have been and what it was supposed to be. And, that's even why, even with this platform, that's one thing that's why I wanted to be a part of this, because I wanted to speak the truth to people and let them know the real.
Right.
Because that little perspective that we had, that little ideology is not real. Like I heard one of you, both of you just said, like, it's not real, and it's not.
Right.
Because what you just said is not going to happen. Let's just keep it
never
real.
happens.
I bet you each one of us sitting at this table will say that.
Right.
And we'll stand on that it's not going to happen.
Right.
And so then if it's not going to happen, what have I spent my whole life doing? Building what, and for what return was I really expecting and really thinking I was going to get back?
We was lying to ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And that's the first thing we have to admit, that we lied to ourselves.
Right.
Because we believed in something that's men that was children, right, started when they was kids, and we kept adapting that same idea. It never evolved. Game making has never evolved. You know what I'm saying? Nor has the ideology of game. So for us to sit here to continue to move in a retrogression state of evolution is a bad thing for all of us.
And I think it sucks, right? Because emotionally as I say this, bro, because if we had people like we saying doing the right thing, like dealing with funerals, dealing with kids after their dads die, dealing with mothers after they lose their sons, it'll hit you different. Like since I've been sitting here, like I be putting food in refrigerators that I don't eat out of. I be listening to some of my homies' kids and their mamas saying, Terry, I miss my son. Why? They hanging on to me because I'm the last piece that I was their best friend.
Right.
And I'm still alive. And he like, man, I'm graduating today, Terry. My daddy not here.
Right.
And they just want to hear me talk about how their daddy would be proud of them because they know that me and their daddy was road dogs.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So when these dudes was dying, I was paying for funerals.
Right.
I'm paying for the plot. And I'm like, what's up with you dudes out there?
The homies.
The homies.
The homies.
So and these dudes became my friends. I didn't do it as homies. They mamas knew my mamas. We hung together. We did stuff. So I think even if it was a little bit in depth to where they did it, it would still help them get it.
Right.
Because if you living through year after year when you're alive, we're celebrating your death yearly to keep you alive, but we also celebrate your child living and living life, but they missing you at the same time.
Right.
So it kind of be like an oxymoron in a sense.
Exactly.
We celebrate life and death at the same time, but we have to put life into the kid that's growing.
Right.
But we also want to celebrate your death at the same time to make sure you never die.
Keep this
so if you going through that and actually feeling that and dealing with the repercussions and dealing with the tears, that affects me a different kind of way.
Right.
So I think if most people was involved further than just the homie died, I put him on a tattoo shirt, or I put him on a shirt, I put out some liquor for him, they would come to this realization too. But since we're not humanizing ourselves through that behavior because we're not taking the full steps, it gives us a chance to cheat the game again.
Cheat code, like
they're using that cheat code now. Because you're not fully, or even
you never fully took the test.
You've been dead 20-some years. He's been dead. I've been in jail 17 years.
Right.
Even that process of making sure outside of the women we've been dealing on, because traditionally we think the homies, but we find out, that ain't the case. We depend on the women that come in and show us that. So if they came through and was even giving us packages, even paying for lawyers, all the things that the females do, because they feeling it now.
Right.
Then they will feel different, like, damn, bro, that's a lot. Writing you letters, coming to see you, putting miles on my cars. Everything we saying to the females, they held that. They will feel different about the process of game banging and growing up. Because they cheating the code and we not holding them accountable. We just saying, yeah, I'm in jail, fuck that. I don't care about the homie. I'm going to get a female and I'm going to do it regardless. Now we using the mindset that we gave the enemies and the different people because we said, I'm going to make it without you. I don't need you. First we was growing up saying, I'm going to make it with you. And then we realized, hold on, there's an isolation process where you have to personally dig deep. To get something out of it that these people ain't going to give you. And you got to get it from the civilians that they told you to stay away from. And don't involve them in this circle of belief that we operate up under.
So the whole. So what are we doing? No, it's all for nothing. It's all for nothing, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like
we're playing a game under a set of rules that we subconsciously know aren't true.
So that's insanity. You know, that's insanity at its finest. And so I think as a race, man, we suffer from post-traumatic slavery syndrome. You know what I'm saying? As a whole. And that needs to be addressed, you know, because mental health is serious in our community because mental health is nothing but making sure you're mentally healthy, and we're not healthy if we continue to believe in this. That's something wrong with us.
No, for sure. I mean, we just went through it all and broke it down, and all of it is fake and fantasy. Nothing that we signed up for turned out to be how it's supposed to be. So then, what are we doing besides destroying our own community?
Not destroying, and that's the major thing with self.
Because we're keeping it up. Now today, we already know this is something that we have to, you know, if we're going to be objective, we have to acknowledge that we're the ones keeping it up today.
Right.
You know? And so then it's like, for what? With no benefit, no profit to nobody. Nobody on no side is getting a benefit or a profit.
But, you know, I'm going to be honest with you. You know, the street dudes, I've said and pondered on this for years, is that we live a certain lifestyle. We allow civilians to capitalize off the lifestyle that we live, and we never benefit from it, but we have an opinion about why they're benefiting off the lifestyle that we have.
100%.
That's our fault. That's our fault because why we not telling our own stories? You know, because we all have a story at this table. You know what I'm saying? And so,
and they're gonna go get Vin Rhymes to go play it and make all the money off.
Make the money off my lifestyle. You know, the misery that I went through.
And I think that's why it's important that we have this, bro, to put these stories out here, because when they need a perfect reference of a person that's grown, that went through it, they can tag you, they can tag him, they can tag me, to give them the aha moment that they're looking for. Because a lot of them is hearing it and they're confused. When I was knee deep in it, you couldn't tell me nothing.
Me neither.
I was getting a thrill.
Yeah, right.
I was getting rewarded for it, and when I came to jail now, I understand what I did, so I don't cry about being here.
Right.
I try to get out. I do the best I can to become better.
Right.
But I know what I did.
Right.
I'm not calling nobody crying about nothing. I'm saying if you can and if you're willing and if you're able, then I'm here and I'm still personally available. I still understand streets. I didn't grow up in jail. I went back and forth.
Right.
So I understand what it takes for us to have a committed relationship. I understand paying rent. I understand buying cars. I understand paying bills. I understand struggle. I understand strife.
Right.
I understand all that. And I'm still mentally here. It's just you got to come take me on dates. I can't take you on dates. Right. And you got to believe that who I am is who I say I am. And when I come take you out, but when I get out on the streets, you got to believe that I am who I say I am. But at the end of the day, I got to do that anywhere I go. These walls and these set of restrictions is just set up different.
Right. Because we still living.
Because we still living.
Still living.
You know what I'm saying? Doing this podcast show, we still living, and it shows that we progressing.
Right.
In a form that when you get us out in the capacity that you can take us to places and explain to people that don't really understand the totality of what they're doing.
Exactly. Because it's like a flock of sheep that being misled to slaughter. You know, that's all we are, was a flock of sheep that got misled and led to slaughter. You know what I'm saying? This is a physical death.
Right.
You know, it's not, I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's also mentally.
Right.
You know, if you come in here and allow this place to, you know, capture and take the mind.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so my advice, you know, to any of the young cats, you know what I'm saying, that's looking for validity, you know, from the streets, man, it ain't worth it. You know what I'm saying? And you can research it. Where I come from, you know, I was at the top of the food chain in the sense of the ignorance, you know, when I was in the streets.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, I don't want it.
Right.
You know,
right. So people at the table with household names that you can still go back and research that these communities love are telling you, this ain't it.
This ain't it.
You know, and when you go back now and you dealing with your friends as a young man, and your friend is saying, I want you to be down with me. No, I ain't gonna be. I'll walk with you to school. I'll help you with your homework. You know, I'll catch the bus with you and we can put in job applications. Like, build your relationships off of different things other than committing criminality, because eventually you're going to get caught.
Right.
And it's going to put you in a bind, it's going to put your family in a bind, and then it's going to leave you in a place where you manipulating your loved ones to have them put bail, have them put money, have them dealing with your mama dealing with you. You feel like you raised that she failed as a parent because my child isn't right. You know, don't put that stress on your onus on yourself. Don't put your girl in where she got to be ashamed to tell her boyfriend's in jail or her husband's in jail. Don't put people in them situations. Choose people that's living their right life, and then help them build accordingly.
But yeah, that's why we just got to continue pushing positivity back into our community.
Why?
Because, like, for me, it's been a negative journey, bro. It's been negative.
Right.
Like, I think about 14 years on up until I really, like, started making that change, it's been negative.
Right.
Like, you know, and there's no benefit, and it isn't worth it. And like you say, you got to depend on your family for all this and put them through all that, and making your mom feel this type of way.
Right.
And it's just, you know, like you say, our community is suffering, and I can see that now. How I was suffering.
Right.
You feel me? Poor self-image and all that type of stuff.
And you had a bunch of hurt people hurt. You know, y'all was all in this big old pot of gumbo. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And we just kept adding shit to the gumbo until it became unedible. You know what I'm saying? Too much shit in there now.
Yeah.
You know, now we want to complain how heavy the plate is. You're giving it a new name. It's humble. It's humble. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, quit putting shit into the pot if you ain't ready to eat it. Period. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it boils down to. And hopefully, you know what I'm saying, that we continue to have these dialogues, you know what I'm saying, and try to show it. What we need to do as a whole, though, we need to show a different face of success.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Right. No, definitely got to change the narrative, and I think that's what we started to do.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
That's what we, you know, try to do every time we sit down at these tables, is change that narrative and let, you know, the people know what's really, you know, cool, what's really in, what's really positive, what we really should be doing. But, you know, it's these tables to talk. I'm Patrick.
Yeah, I'm Terry, man. Follow me on Instagram, man. richandson.inc on Instagram.
I'm Robert. Get at me on Facebook, Post Malak May, or Instagram, Post Malak May. Follow, share, and like if these tables can talk.
Thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate y'all.